I got some sort of bad news on Thursday. My roommate, who works at a supermarket, one of their vendors came in and was coughing and sneezing and in the back. He's a vendor. He walks in the back room where everybody is, and yeah, COVID-19.
Oh, he's confirmed.
So it was confirmed. He brought it into the store. Fortunately, my roommate wasn't working that day, but still, it's like any closed environment, a store, a business, anything like that. If one person has it, the likelihood of somebody else getting it just goes up that much.
Of course.
So now my roommate. What's that?
Do you know if he had a mask on or gloves or?
No, the guy did not have a mask or gloves on.
Oh.
Exactly. He's coughing and delivering stuff, but doesn't have a mask on. And it's like, dude, what do you? So I called my folks as soon as that happened, because we were supposed to get together with some of our cigar friends for my roommate's birthday. It's his birthday yesterday. Yes, I think it was yesterday. And we were going to get together and try and socially distance, smoke some cigars and chat. And as soon as my roommate heard that, he was like, nope, guys, got to beg off. This isn't going to happen this weekend. And I was just like, well, I better tell my folks that I'm not coming over on Sunday. So
yeah. Well, so what did they do with his store? I mean, did they shut down for a little bit?
You know what? I haven't really talked to him that much about it. He goes into work so early, and he's home like at 2 p.m. And half the time he goes into his room, and I think sometimes he's sleeping. He's sleeping a lot right now, and I think it's just the stress of everything.
Yeah, sure.
But so by the time I get home at 6:30, 7 o'clock, sometimes he's already gone to bed. Other times he's just in his room watching TV or whatever. But if he doesn't come out, I don't go into his room.
No.
So it's like, and if I don't specifically have anything to talk to him about, I'll text him sometimes, hey dude, what are you doing? I'm going to the store. Do you need anything? But if he doesn't need anything, he doesn't come out.
Right.
And it's just that kind of thing. So I think I saw him yesterday when he came home from work, and I talked to him for a little bit, and I kind of got the lowdown. I go, what happened with the guy or this? And I didn't think to ask him what they did at the store. I'm assuming they probably went in and they tried to trace the guy's steps and wipe down everything. But who knows? Maybe the guy went to the bathroom for a minute. Maybe
well, I mean, realistically, I'm sure you have customers coming in that have it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and the good thing for him is he's the meat department manager there. So he's back in that store, or back in their storage area and their cutting area. So he's not dealing with customers as much as the guys at the counter are. He's mostly doing the cutting. But once he's done cutting for the day, then he's out dealing with the customers, the public. But I think that helps him in the fact that, for long hours of his day, he's in the back. And because of its meat production, he's already got safety stuff in place. They're sterilizing everything, and he's washing his gloves or his hands or whatever. That's just what he does.
I'd be curious to know, or I'm curious to see if that guy comes back, like that delivery guy comes back.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Because if he doesn't, it's like, oh, all right, why didn't he come back? And if he does, it's like, well, what's
your story, dude? What's going on?
If he was confirmed, he's got to be sequestered for, at least a couple of weeks.
I will say I was told the guy had COVID-19, and my roommate was told. When I talked to him yesterday, he said, well, the management didn't tell us. One of the other guys that I work with came in and say, oh, did you hear about whatever the guy's name was? And so then I had some questions, but I'm also like, just out of an abundance of caution, I'm not going near anybody right now.
Well, you don't know. I mean, it could be allergies.
Yeah.
You don't know what it is. Yeah.
You don't. Yeah. But I guess this guy didn't sound well. And then like allergies isn't usually coughing. Sometimes I guess it is. I guess everybody's different. I have pretty bad allergies sometimes. And usually it's sneezing. and the runny nose and the itchy
which
eyes,
is symptoms. Yeah, which is symptoms
which
of
is symptoms of a
something
lot of
worse.
things. But the coughing is the one that kind of told me.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like I said, I don't know. How's your Mother's Day things going? Anything going
Oh
on?
well,
Yeah,
I'm
you're not a
laughing.
mom.
I haven't spoken to my mom in like 20 years, over 20 years.
Oh, sorry.
So no,
Yeah,
that
I understand.
that's it is what it is. I put it out there before, so it's
Okay.
not a big deal. But my son's mom,
Yes.
I got her a little gift,
Very
so
nice.
kind of a healthy gift, some nuts and dried fruit.
Perfect.
Well, she's always saying, don't buy me chocolate, don't buy me junk, don't buy me, yeah. And then I hear the confessions of, well, I ate this whole thing of ice cream, I ate this whole cake, and she's not a house. I mean, she's not
Uh-huh.
300 pounds. She's in pretty good shape. She works out and stuff. So I tried to be nice and give her like a healthier option, or what she thinks is a healthier option. Dried fruit can be kind of full of
Yeah,
sugar. So,
dried fruit can be a little tricky.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Concentrated sugar. Wait a minute.
yeah. So to get back to like COVID etiquette or whatever you want to call it, I took a trip to the Acme this week,
Uh-huh.
and you could tell some people are on edge, but most people are wearing masks. Most people are
Yeah.
being polite. Most people are staying out of each other's way.
Yeah.
I try to be cool as much as I can. So I almost made it out, Bill. I almost made it out of the building.
Oh.
So I have my cart and I'm pushing it towards the exit.
Uh-huh.
And it's clearly the exit of the Acme. It's an Acme.
Yeah.
And this old lady, she just walks right up in front of my cart. And we have like a standoff. And she looks at me and she smiles and she goes, beep, beep. Like tries to be cute about it. And I got my mask on, so I'm like bad guy. I sound like Darth Vader. You know what I mean? And it's like this is the exit. The entrance is right there. And she goes, oh, and she turns around to a girl next to her and she goes, is that true? Is that true? Like, am I trying to fool? Why do you think I'm trying to fool you? Is that true? And the girl's like,
Oh.
yeah. She still stood there, moved to the side, and let me go by her, right?
Yeah.
And she still tried to justify coming in the exit, okay? And still go, I don't know. I'm just so used to going in this way. Here's the other thing. In the exit, trying to get in the exit way, okay?
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. No mask. No mask. No gloves, nothing. I mean, to me, I'm more of a threat to her.
Right. No, absolutely.
But I don't know. Like, is it eating your brain? Is the COVID eating your brain? Is that what's happening? What's going on?
I don't understand the thinking, but there's some people that just aren't taking it seriously. I just heard somebody, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday, but it was either yesterday or Friday at work. I heard overheard a conversation and somebody was saying literally, it's just a flu. And it's like, I don't know, everyone's overreacting about it. And I had to stop myself from turning and looking and just going, are you serious? I mean, because I was in public, so it wasn't somebody I knew, but I was just like, do you not read the papers? Do you not understand how statistics work? What?
And what are you going to do? So, have a debate with them? You can't.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to convince them of anything anyway.
You can't talk to them face to face. Were they an older person, a younger person?
No, it was, someone probably in their 30s or 40s. Like they seemed a little bit younger than me, but an adult, somebody who would own a house or had a job or something like that. It wasn't like a teenager on a skateboard or something like that, it was I don't know why, I'm trying to remember where I was. I don't remember where I was when I overheard it, but it was somebody that I didn't know them, but I kind of knew who they were. So I'm getting like this picture of like, this is a reasonable person, reasonably intelligent, has a job, that kind of thing. And they're just, but no clue whatsoever about this thing, this disease.
Yeah, I mean, some people go by personal experience.
Yeah.
Yes, they don't know I imagine they don't know anyone that has it, or obviously they didn't have it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there's two things. There's the extreme where
Mm-hmm.
you keep getting bombarded by, this many kids died by it, and, here's all these bodies, and, China's burning people alive.
Oh, geez.
There's like the horrible stories, and then you get those people that are,
Yeah.
I had a cough. I'm all right. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had some hot soup. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
I stopped by a friend's house on Friday on my way home from work, because we had a mutual friend who unfortunately passed away. Not from this. She had cancer. And I wasn't sure if she knew. So I was knock on the door and stay socially distant and just ask her if she knew. And it turns out she was at another friend's house. And I went over there and they were all sitting in the front yard around the fire pit in the evening. And so I was able to distance myself and sit there and chat with them for a while. But we were talking about some of their friends, and one particular family is convinced that they had the COVID back in like November or December. Oh, the whole family got sick. We're sure we had it. Didn't have any of the symptoms. They had a cold, but this family is convinced they've had it.
Right.
And that's the other side. Like you said, there's the people who, no matter what, it's not that big of a deal. And there's other people that are like, oh, I had a hangnail. I'm sure it was COVID related.
Yeah. That's a new symptom added to the list.
Hangnails. Those hangnails. Ooh.
Well, I mean, if they did have it or somebody had it, they're very lucky.
Yeah.
They should consider themselves very lucky. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, that's all I was saying.
Oh, okay. We talked about binge watching. Are you binge watching anything, or did you binge watch anything this week? Because you had a couple of days off.
I did have a couple of days off, and you are a bad man. That's all I can say. No, you're a good man, because you were telling me about Upload, right?
Oh yeah.
Watched all 10 of them in a row.
Yeah,
sat there, and I'm like, oh yeah, keep going. And then I got to like 6 or 7. And I backed out because I was just trying to see how many there were. And I'm like, well, there's only 4 more. So, yeah. And just finished the series in one sitting, basically. Well, maybe 2. Like, I watched the first half on Tuesday and then the second half on Wednesday.
Wow. So and it was a good choice, right?
I mean, it was a good choice. Oh, yeah. It was fun. It was interesting. It was... Well, and you told me what the basic idea of it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at one point early, in one of the first couple episodes, they asked, would you do this, or is this a good idea or something? And in my head, I said, no. And I don't know why. I don't know why that was my response to it without thinking about it. And so I was going to ask you, what was your response? Did you ever think about that? As like, would you do something like that, and I'm not saying I wouldn't do something like that if it was available, but my gut reaction when they asked it on the screen was, in my head, I just said no.
Well, yeah, the way they set it up is like either this is it, or you expand your consciousness to live on. Yeah, but there was no third option.
Well, because I'm afraid to go into too much detail because I think it's a reasonably new series. I don't want to.
It is reasonably new.
Okay, you want somebody else.
The spoiler aspect of it.
But yeah, there was a couple things in there that I was like, ah. So, but I did like what you told me about the lower levels. That was pretty funny. Although also sad, but funny.
Right. Well, it was just, I don't want to say perfect, but it was kind of perfect how they touched on every aspect of internet and
Yeah.
virtual reality and options. And you know, you, well, they had the option of still being alive, but kind of interacting with
Yeah.
virtual reality people that had died.
That's what I thought
So
that was pretty cool.
you could test it in a way. I mean, you could test it, and I'm sure if it actually did exist that way, that would be part of the sales pitch.
Oh yeah.
If you went into any kind of if you went into to see any kind of samples or experience it anyway, you know. Um, I don't know. I mean, it depends. You know, I would say yes. My
Would you?
first, yeah,
Okay.
to just because you can pretty much have your own reality
Yeah.
if you can afford it, which I thought was funny.
Well, yeah, that too.
If you couldn't afford certain amenities, then yeah,
That's a big part.
you only got what was it? You only got 2 gig.
Yeah, 2 gig was
It, it was like it was the virtual reality looked like a not even a hospital hallway. It was just like all white doors and the
hmm
white floor and you had a cot and it was like a almost
and
like
the
a
big
prison
video screen.
and a big video screen. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that was the only things you could afford.
yeah. If
And
you
then
could,
you
well, like a lot of things, if you could afford it, well, yeah, that sounds pretty good. But if you can't, man, wow, that's putting yourself way out there for very little.
yeah. Another show I've been binging on Amazon shows.
Okay.
The other one I wanted to check out was Tales from the Loop.
Yeah, I don't understand what that is. I've seen it. Is it
It's
above the Large Hadron Collider? Is that what it's supposed to be?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's the big. Oh, it's in. Is it CERN, Switzerland? It's up in the mountains, but it crosses like two. It's the big particle collider that, and I think it's called the Loop, or it's nicknamed the
Oh,
Loop,
okay.
but I'm not sure. And the description is so vague, but yeah, I've so far found other things to watch every time. Like I just got back into the Grand Tour, and I've watched almost all of season 3 or 4, whichever one. Do you watch?
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you remember Top Gear? Did you ever watch Top Gear? The
No,
British
I heard
show.
it's about cars, right?
Yeah, it's about cars. So the 3 guys who hosted it for many years on BBC, well, one of the guys was fired, and in solidarity, the other 2 guys left with him, and so they started their own show on Amazon called The Grand Tour, and it's
Oh,
basically the same kind of thing, but it's these
really?
3 guys who over the years have created their, it's any team where you create this camaraderie or this thing, and it's just the right mix for whatever reason. And so they started this, and so I think they're in season 4 now, but they have a big tent out in a field somewhere, and I mean it's very well not, it's very very well done inside, but they get a big crowd in there, and they just get up in there, up on the stage, and they start telling stories about this car or that car, or they have different adventures each week.
Oh, so it's like a storytelling show.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Well, the basis of the main story, the A story, if you will, is there's usually some sort of challenge. Like, oh, we want to test out these new ultra luxury uh, trucks and see how well they do in truck type stuff. That was one I saw recently. Or we want to see if you can buy the cheapest or the least expensive used sports car from somebody, and then race them across the Alps or something. Just so that then they go out, and then each one shows up with a different sports car or whatever type of car it is, and there's always breakdowns because they're used cars, and there's goofy things. The lights on the dash don't work. Only one of the headlights pops up, or just that kind of stuff. And then there's always, or almost always, some format of a new car that's coming out. Usually sports cars, and then they have a dedicated track, if you will. I guess it's an old airfield. No, this one is an airfield. Whatever. And so they have a race car driver who drives it around, and they post scores or times for driving around the lap. And so yeah, and so there's a couple different segments like that.
Oh, okay. I'm not much of a car file.
Oh, okay.
I don't even drive now.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
I drove for like 30 years. But yeah, I mean, the cars I'm most interested in are like old cars. Like I like the cars from the 40s and 50s. I just like the way they look,
Yeah, no, it's usually more modern cars than that. If they go back, it's maybe to the 80s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And like, Jerry Seinfeld show, I like that.
Comedians in Cars?
Comedians in Cars, yeah. Yeah, because he showcases all these classic cars.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He does a little featurette in the beginning of each episode and talks about it. And that's cool. That's pretty cool. I remember the one where what's that?
No, go ahead.
I remember the one he got for Patton Oswalt. It was the DeLorean.
Oh.
Which was apropos, and but it kept breaking down on them.
Yeah.
And they actually had to switch to like a regular car during the episode, which was cool.
That's all I was going to say is I like how sometimes he tries to match the car to the guest.
The personality, yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that's cool too. Yeah, I wanted to talk about The Loop a little bit because I think it's another series I think you'd really like. It's very sci-fi heavy.
Right.
It brings up a lot of traditional like sci-fi ideas. It takes place in the 70s.
Oh, wow.
So the technology kind of looks modern, but it kind of looks 70s modern, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they deal with time travel. They deal with
so it's not what I thought at all.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not that. It's not a straight drama. It's very sci-fi heavy, like I said. And the whole cast, each cast member gets its own episode pretty much.
Oh, wow.
So you get flash forwards, you get flash backwards, or flashbacks rather. And like I said, there's time travel, there's dimension travel, there's robots, there's body switching.
Okay. I'm in.
And some of the and some of the stories kind of arc through the whole series. Mm-hmm. I think it's about 8 or 10 episodes. And it's a slow burn at times, but it pays off.
Nice.
I think it pays off. Yeah.
Is this a single season story, or is it going to come back, do you think?
It can. It definitely can. Because like I said, they play with time. They play with the characters. They're cross stories with the characters. So, and it's subtle. It's very subtle. So they didn't explain everything all at once. It would be interesting to see if they brought characters back that had passed away to see how they got back.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But I think you'd like it a lot. And if anyone is a sci-fi fan, yeah, they'll definitely like it. I didn't realize how sci-fi heavy it is until I got into it.
I'll have to check it out. That's you're batting 1,000 so far.
Oh yeah. So. Even the humor is like really subtle.
Is it? Okay, cool.
There's a place called The Loop, and there's a facility that in the core of the facility is this giant sphere. and it kind of has magnetic parts to it. And they hint at it being responsible for these, like, I guess supernatural things happening, and
Right.
uh, extraordinary scientific things happening. They kind of hint that it's responsible for it. You don't know where it came from.
Right.
They don't really explain that. If they did, I missed it. Like I said, it's subtle. Um, and it's all centered around that. Basically, that whole town is centered around that, and the employees that work there, and the town and the people. Oh, there's an episode where time stops. This girl finds a canister
Uh,
object, and she fixes it because she's mechanically inclined,
yeah.
and she discovers that it can stop time. And if you're wearing a bracelet, you're the only one that can actually continue moving.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a really cool
Nice.
series. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, you should check that out.
I will check that out. That's definitely on the list then. Because, yeah, I'm not running out of stuff, but
No, there's
there's,
so much.
there's so much stuff. It's crazy. What was I was going to tell you something. Oh, I was just going to say that I've been watching a lot of documentaries.
Right. Yeah, you're a big Doc fan. Yeah.
And so there's just been some really cool stuff that uh, I don't know that I would have gone and seen. Like if someone said, "Hey, we're going to go see this," but I'm so happy that I watched because they were interesting, or they were fun, or they were just wow, that was pretty amazing. What did I watch? Uh, I need to start writing this stuff down because I can't remember stuff from one week to the next. Too many things going on.
Yeah, just jot down a few notes.
Yeah, I watched something though that what was it? It's probably going to be dumb, but it's like it made me cry. Like the touching sentimentality of it. It was designed to do that, and I just
Oh, yeah.
totally bought into it. And I was just sitting there like crying, and then stop crying, and then crying. And I'm like, my eyes are watering. I'm just like,
I,
that's so cool.
I I cry at fake shows. I cried
Yeah,
during a loop.
yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. It's very sad. The show.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very sad. Every episode. I mean, there are some happy endings, but for the most part, it's pretty
Okay.
grueling.
That's perfect
It's
for right
not
now.
it's not violent. It's not gory or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, there's conflict in it, but it's just emotional sadness and
Hmm.
relationship sadness that's in it.
Got it.
And it
Oh,
really, it tugs on your heartstrings.
I just remembered what it was that I watched. Uh, there's a book called The Art of Racing in the Rain. I believe the author's name was Garth Stein, if I remember correctly. Uh, and when I read it, I thought it was spectacular. I thought it was a great book. And I don't know if, sometimes on the cover of the books, it'll say soon to be a major motion picture or stuff like that. So the copy I had, I think it said that on it. And I thought, well, that'll be a good movie if they do it right. And Milo Ventimiglia was the main human character in the movie, and it came out I think last year. And I remember seeing that it was coming out, but I also thought, this movie isn't going to be one of those movies that people run out and see, because Milo's on This Is Us. Is that, I think, the TV show that he's on? He plays the dad who passed away, and they flash back and forth. But so he's got some celebrity because of that, and so maybe they were hoping that would, but it wasn't one of those kinds of stories, I don't think. So I don't know how well it did at the box office, but I saw it on one of the streaming services, and I sat here and watched it, and it just kept making me cry.
Is it a
So
fictional story or it's
it's a
based
fictional
on?
story. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
it's so Milo, or Milo, however you say his name, he is a racer, but he's not a big time racer. He's a guy that races. he teaches race car driving, and he does some local circuits. I think they're up in the Washington, Oregon area, somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. And his dog, Enzo, is the one telling the story. It's just, I thought that was fantastic, and that's like the very first thing you figure out. It's the first scene.
Who does? I assume there's a voiceover for the dog.
Yeah.
Who's the voice? Do you know?
It's I just blanked on his name. I know who it is. Dance with
Gilbert
Wolves.
Gottfried.
No, that would be a totally different story. No, it's Dancing with Wolves. What's his name? Kevin Costner.
Oh, Kevin Costner. Okay, yeah, he has a kind of cool voice.
But
yeah.
he's groveling it up a little bit, kind of doing this. I guess he talks like that on Yellowstone. Somebody was telling me. So, at least when I was watching it, I was like, I recognize that voice, but I don't know. I can't quite. And I was watching the movie, so I wasn't thinking about that stuff. I was concentrating on watching the movie. But when it got to the credits, I was looking, and his name came up, and I'm like, of course that's who it is. But yeah,
it all clicks once you, yeah. Well, there's a video game that I like. It's called Dishonored, and I'm listening to this guy's voice, and I'm like, I know that voice, and then I saw in the credits it's Michael Badson.
Oh wow!
And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then there's a woman character in it, and it's Rosaria Dawson.
Oh wow!
Wait for the woman character, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Because I really love the game. And then once I find out it's people that I really like,
right.
Actors that I really like, it's like, oh, that's cool.
That's even better. Yeah, it just makes it more fun. I guess speaking of Michael Madsen, I was reading somewhere, I don't remember where, online, I'm sure, that a bunch of people are like recreating scenes from movies they've been in. A bunch of actors are recreating, and I don't know. I'm missing all this stuff because I don't have unlimited time on the internet because I have to go to work, and I guess there's lots of people who are stuck at home. So I'm not saying I want to be in their shoes, but so they're just online, and all these actors. And did you see the one, I think it was last week, where she's an actor and a stunt woman, and she got together with some of the people that she's either been in movies with or has doubled for, and it was I can't remember the woman name who's the stunt woman, but it was like Cameron Diaz and
is it that Australian woman who
I don't even know. It's like I haven't seen the video. I just saw a couple different stories about the video, and when I'd start to watch it, it was one of those ones where, they're all doing the thing from their own room. So it's somebody reacted, like somebody would push you, and then you'd see Scarlett Johansson go flying back, but she's got like a sword in her hand. You're like, what the hell? And then she comes back and
what show is this?
It's not. It's just they're doing these little videos because they're stuck at home.
Oh, so they're doing like a TikTok thing.
Yeah, exactly. And somebody did one.
Wow.
Before it was all like martial arts, and I can't remember who did that one. But then this one was like a follow-up.
Oh, so it's like you know what it's like? It's like in that movie This Is the End, where they did Pineapple Express 2.
Uh-huh.
Did you see that? Did you see This Is the End?
I saw This Is the End. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. So it's like that. It's like Seth Rogen and James Franco doing. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what it's like.
So it's just it was funny that they did that, and I don't even know why I started saying that, but.
Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah. I mean, I guess you just have to be a follower.
Yeah. And that's why I started out, because like people are doing these things, and I don't find them because I'm not scouring the internet all day long because I don't have work. I have work. And so I'm going to work and doing my thing. And then I come home and I read stories about this other stuff that people, which I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, that sounds so cool. And then I realize as I'm thinking that, like, oh, they're doing this because they're stuck at home and they're not going to work, and they're bored out of their minds. So people are A, creating stuff like this, and B, finding and watching stuff like this because
Yeah.
they're just online. And
Yeah.
so,
That's cool, man. That is, yeah, I didn't hear anything about that. Well, now I did
yeah,
through
you did.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, did you work this week?
Yeah. Yeah.
How'd that go?
I was finally able to connect to my computer
Oh, good.
at work. They, the office manager took my suggestion and called the building
Mm-hmm.
and got some security people to help us restart my computer.
Oh, cool.
So I'm connected, and I was able to do some work this week. Um, it's it's weird because we're all waiting for the shutdown to end.
Mm-hmm.
And well, speaking of, our governor just extended it
Oh,
to
really?
June 4th
Oh, wow.
for my for the Philadelphia area. There's some
Yeah.
other Pennsylvania areas that are opening up now gradually, but as far as Philadelphia, we're still in the red zone.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I would think bigger urban areas are going to be the hardest ones to get back open, just because you already have such not dearth, wrong word. There's so many people. You have
Yeah,
such
density. Yeah,
a close
yeah.
population base,
Mm-hmm.
and you really need space for something like this, or
Yeah.
space helps. And
Well, yeah, going into Center City, I mean, with a lot of the population coming back, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Yeah.
so you couldn't get into your building at all,
Um,
or you just
I
weren't supposed to.
I probably could. I just didn't want to take the chance to
Yeah.
go up there and get turned away, or to get turned away by police, or get
Yeah.
arrested, or
No,
something
no,
like
I
that.
that I understand.
So I just suggested, hey, there's people in that building.
Yeah.
Could they do it? Could they do us a favor? Because these are extreme circumstances. I know I'm not the president of the company,
Right.
but they were very nice to help out.
Very
And
cool.
so yeah, so I spoke to them on the phone. I said, you just restart this computer, and luckily, I was able to reconnect and
Perfect.
get some work done. Yeah, yeah. Where you felt, you feel useful.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't have any, as far as I know, you didn't have any time off, really, right?
No.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, if you're not, man, if you're not looking forward to the next work day, it's weird, man. It's strange. Yeah.
And I have thought about that, just because, well, I think I told you last time we talked, it was weird enough getting used to coming home on a Friday night and not going anywhere until Monday morning when I left for work.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had that thought, is like, what are these people doing that are literally doing that every day? I mean, they're not even getting up to go to work on Monday. They're just staying home 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is, but I feel bad for people who.
So that was your biggest change, the
Yeah.
weekend schedule. Yeah.
Well, because I'm not that social. I don't go do a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things, but
Mm-hmm.
I do, I get in the car, I go to the store. I go get some
Well, you
food.
like having a choice.
Yeah, exactly. There's a couple guys that I go hang out with. We go have a beer, we go have a cigar. I go to the cigar lounge. And maybe I'm only gone for an hour or two. But in that hour or two, I got up, I went somewhere, I went to the store, I ran a couple errands, went by some friend's house. Maybe they weren't home, but I still was out and driving around. And then all of a sudden, just out of the blue, I come home at 6:30 on a Friday, and I don't see my car again for 2.5 days. That's just weird.
Yeah, when you're used to driving every day, and
Mm-hmm.
you're used to it being your routine.
So,
Yeah. So I was, as you know, I was corresponding with our buddy Aaron.
mm-hmm. Hi,
And
Aaron.
hi, Aaron. Happy Mommy Day,
Oh yeah,
belated.
happy
If you
Mother's
don't watch it
Day.
today, yeah. Uh, so she was kind enough to send us some this or that questions
Uh-oh.
for the quiz. So and I thought it'd be more interesting for both of us to answer.
Okay.
So you can go first,
Okay.
and I'll go third.
Odd. We're going
It's,
odds.
yeah.
First 1, 3, 5. That's good.
Well, that's true. I am very odd. Okay. And so I gave you a cheat sheet. I kind of sent them to you ahead of time. So
Is that all of them? I
yeah, that's all of them. Yeah, yeah. You don't want to, we want to turn into SATs. You know what I mean? 100 questions.
I have my blue Scantron and a number 2 pencil. Let's go.
Did you do, well, before we start, did you do any research?
None.
None. Okay.
Did
Just
not.
curious. I had to, because I just to be accurate with my answer. I just had to
Oh,
do it.
okay. Am I supposed to read these off, or are you going to read them to me?
No, I'll read them off, and then you answer, and then I'll answer.
Okay.
We'll do it in that fashion. Okay, first one, squats or deadlifts?
I like squats.
Okay.
Deadlift is cool. Deadlift is very cool. I'm not good at it.
How much weight in your deadlift?
I've deadlifted probably not that much. Probably not more than 150, maybe 200 pounds. Just because I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah.
And
you don't injure yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Squats, I've probably done. Trying to remember now. 300,
Wow.
320 pounds, something like that.
Wow. So
Like
that's behind the neck.
Yeah.
Squat.
Well, you can do it in front of the neck. Oops, sorry. You can do it in front of the neck. I've seen guys do that too, but now you're trying to hold it. So for me, the better way is behind the neck.
Okay.
And
why? For me, I prefer squats. I like squats, but I don't really do heavyweight squats or deadlifts.
Right.
I would say I say deadlifts pretty much are non-existent because I don't have that much weight at home.
Right.
And prior to this mess, I really didn't search that out. I thought about it, but I never did it. But I do a lot of air squats, basically.
Those are great.
And they're great. They really warm up your body.
Yeah.
It's a good warm up.
I need to start doing those again.
Yeah. I mean, even if you're binge watching something, it's good to get up every once in a while and do some air squats. So I do those to warm up. I do a little bit of a weight squat in front, and that's about it. Yeah, but I do like squats more.
Number 2.
All right, this one. That's why I said that some of these are girl centric. So, but I guess it'll be interesting to at least Aaron. So, first one, the second one, strawberry shortcake or rainbow bright.
Strawberry shortcake.
Okay.
I had to think about Rainbow Bright. I had to think about it. I didn't do research, but I had to think, and I'm like, do I even know who Rainbow Bright is? So it's got to be strawberry shortcake. I remember strawberry shortcake. That's all I have to say about that. I have no knowledge or no backstory. It's just like,
I mean, if you went on for about 15 minutes about strawberry shortcake, I'd be a little curious. I'd be very impressed, but I'd be a little curious why.
No, that's it. That's all. That's
such a passion
for strawberry shortcake. The original artist in 1972 wrote a story about. No, I got nothing.
Yeah. You know what car the artist drove? Yeah. I did a little research on this because I basically know the characters. I know of the characters, like I know of Hello Kitty,
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to go with strawberry shortcake myself too.
Okay.
And they're both in my research. Not that I knew this off the top of my dome, but in my research, I found out that they're both rebooted cartoons too.
Oh,
so there's different. Yeah, there's kind of different incarnations of them.
I had no idea.
And yeah. Good answer. And I would say strawberry shortcake first because of the dessert. reference,
Oh yeah, well yeah, obviously.
obviously, you know. And I would say second, because in my YouTube research, I
Uh-huh.
came across a compilation of songs, and they're very pop heavy, like Go-Go's pop heavy.
Oh wow,
And I'm
okay.
a sucker for that kind of like pop guitar jingly music, you know. And from what I heard, I liked them, you know. And it's all positive kid stuff, you know.
Absolutely.
Be
Nice.
strong, be positive, and friends, family, all this stuff. You know, it's all positive stuff. So that's my vote for
Okay.
strawberry shortcake.
Strawberry
Okay.
shortcake.
Yes.
We're in
Thank you.
agreement.
Yes. Joey McIntyre or Joey, as in a baby kangaroo.
Joey Mack. Got to be Joey Mack. Just because I've met him, I've seen our friend and
I
how
met
she
him too.
reacts.
I met him too, Bill. I met him too.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. It made me laugh how our friend reacts when she sees him,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so funny. And no, he was a nice guy, and actually, I
Yeah, yeah.
really enjoy him as an actor too. In the things that I've seen him in, I think he's understatedly funny.
I don't think I've seen him act and stuff, but I remember him from the festival
Yeah,
on the podcast that he was on. I thought he was really, very funny and friendly, and yeah, a nice guy. I was never a big New Kids on the Block fan.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of my music tastes are a lot older, or they were
A
from that
little
time. It's
bit.
more rock and roll, you
I'm
know,
with
more rock
you.
and roll
I'm a
stuff.
little bit
But yeah,
older
I
than that
agree.
one.
I agree. When Aaron got to meet him at the festival, I thought that was awesome, because it's like, yeah, you're meeting a legit pop star.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like if I ever met like Brian Setzer, I would be acting like Aaron acted.
Yeah.
You know
There's
what
a
I
couple of
mean?
people that I've had
Yeah.
problems meeting. I've met a couple people that are like kind of like that, and you're just like, oh, yeah. You forget
And
that
her,
they're just people.
I was happy for her,
Yeah.
seeing her meet him and take a picture with him and that type of stuff.
Well, and it's in
Now
the
that,
movie.
yeah, oh yeah,
One
it
of the
is.
one of the times is in the movie.
Oh, okay. Oh, because he had been at previous
Yeah.
festivals. Okay, yeah, because he's friends with Graham and Chris,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't remember that. I don't remember that.
I don't know if you see the two of, I think you do see the two of them together at one point. But oh, I think she's in the scene, but she's kind of behind, and Joey McIntyre has a lunchbox, and he's signing the lunchbox. And then there's a cut, and then I think it's slightly later, and it's Aaron's lunchbox.
Oh, cool.
She had brought the lunchbox, the new kids. I'm assuming it's a new kid's lunchbox, to have him sign, and he signed it. And so
No,
there's a shot of him
it was
signing
Boys to
it.
Men. It was the Boys to Men. The
It
Boys to Men lunchbox. Yeah.
was. That's funny.
Joey, would you sign this, please? Yeah.
And so yeah, that at least I remember from Earbuds, the podcasting documentary.
Now, all that being said,
Yes.
I would have to say the kangaroo, Joey, for me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Well, they've been around longer.
They've been around longer, and they are a lot cuter. If you go down the rabbit hole of the Joey Kangaroo YouTube.
Wow. You did some research.
Oh, yes. Yeah. They got them jumping into little sacks. They got them interacting with anteaters. It's amazing. So, I mean, it's close. It's close.
Okay.
Honey. It is close. Okay. But yeah.
All right.
The kangaroo wins.
Totally fair.
And I don't feel guilty. Okay. All right. That's how I feel. I don't know why I'm
Good to
getting so
know. Good to
upset.
know.
I don't know why I'm getting so upset. Yeah. I had
Because
some.
you know you're going to hear about it.
Yeah.
You're not upset. You're being
That's what,
defensive. And I
I didn't even
totally,
put this out yet, and I'm getting a text from her. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's coming over me. I have my apple cider vinegar. I'm good. You know. All right. Here's one more.
all right, hard
More
hitting.
for us. Rocky 2 or Rocky 4.
Which one was Rocky for?
Drago. That's the Russian one.
It is. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I got to go Rocky 2 just because. I mean, Rocky 4, the training montage up in the cabin and the running up the snowy mountains I loved that when I was a kid. I loved that scene. I'm just like,
He's the king of the montage, man.
Juxtaposed with the Russian, the Soviet era.
Injections.
Yeah,
with the steroid
shot
injection.
up, and he had that machine for doing this, and then the running the track.
Yeah, he's running in the snow with the log. Yeah. Well, that's what I said. He's the king of the montages. I just watched the latest Rambo.
Oh, did you?
And there's a montage in it.
Of course there is.
Of him putting together all these weapons and traps, and I'm like, he's the king of the montage.
It is. That's
the only thing. I don't think his brother did the music for that one. I don't think Frank Stallone sang the song for that one.
So, but yeah, I think, and maybe it's because I remember going to the theater and seeing Rocky 2, and I'm sure I went and saw Rocky 4 in the theater too. I just remember Rocky 2 and okay, sorry, story. My uncle, who has since passed away, like last year, but my uncle, my dad's brother, came to the house one day, and he was so excited. He goes, he wanted to take me and my brother to see a movie. And my mom was like, what? He says, oh, this movie, Rocky. You got to go see. They got to go see this movie. And he goes, I've seen it and I can't remember, he said 4 or 5 times. And, he's my uncle. He's 17, I think, years older than me. I mean, at the time when this came out, so I was 10 or 12. He's in his late 20s, early 30s, somewhere around there. And he wants to take me and my brother to go see Rocky. And we're there. And before he goes, my mom's like, why are you so excited? He goes, I've seen this movie 5 times. And it just every time I watch, it's like, I get enthralled. So we go watch it. So now we've seen the end of the movie. So again, spoiler alert, Rocky loses. And what? And my uncle looks at me and my brother. I can't remember if it was when we were still in the theater or if when we got back to the house and he was explaining to my mom why he liked it so much. He goes, the second time I saw this movie, I remember thinking in my head, maybe I'll beat him this time. He was so into it. And it kind of was. It was one of those movies, though, that if you well, and maybe you have to be a boxing fan, or maybe you have to be a boxing fan but not know enough about boxing. That might be a better way of putting it. And as a little kid, I remember being in that movie, and you're kind of thinking, oh, just hit him again or something. I never thought that the movie was going to change how it ended, but he actually had that thought. And so Rocky 2 for me is he beats him. And so
there are some classic movies with alternate endings that they never released, like True Romance.
Really?
The way it was written, I don't think it was ever shot, but the way it was written, Clarence dies at the end.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Alabama gets away with the money.
I have not seen that
movie. You watch the, I think there's extras on the DVD, like the cut DVD. They have storyline or storyboard depictions of Clarence dying and her getting away with the money.
Wow.
And that would be funny if they thought of that then, to have an alternate ending for Rocky. You know, yeah,
Sort of
that would
like
be
the
fun.
Clue movie had 3 different endings.
Yeah, right, like that. Yeah, yeah. Which was that was a few years later. I don't. Yeah, I want. It'd be interesting to find out which was the first movie to do that, like to actually release alternate endings.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I
That
don't know. Yeah, that would be interesting to find out. Um, for me, yeah, I remember Rocky 2 in the movies, and that's one of the most vivid memories I have of like actually crying in the movies.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was with all my buddies too. You know, it's like 5, 6 guys watching the movie, and when she's in the hospital
Mm-hmm.
and she tells him to win,
Yeah.
I'm getting chills now,
Oh
and
yeah.
the bell starts ringing. I'm like, yeah, I started to fill up then. Oh man, yeah. So yeah, I would say Rocky too because it's closest to the original idea and the concept. I mean, I enjoy a lot of them. I enjoy a lot of the Rocky. And hey, I'm a Philly guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I grew up. I grew up maybe 3, 4 blocks from the Italian market where there's that iconic scene with him running
Oh,
the
down the street?
down the street with all the
Or
people following him, the kids
yeah.
following him and stuff. And yeah, I mean, and then of course the art museum steps, and which I've seen a billion times in my life. Uh, and what movies? I think it was Rocky Balboa when he came back to the city to
Uh-huh.
film again. I happened to be living in the neighborhood where the restaurant is that he supposedly owned,
Uh-huh.
and he called it Adrian's.
Yeah.
It's an actual restaurant, and it's called Victor's. But I remember walking home from work and passing by it and seeing the big Victor's sign change to Adrian's. And
Oh
I'm like,
wow.
that's cool. And then you look in the window and you see that mural of him fighting.
Uh-huh.
It's the artist Peter Max was the artist.
I think so. Yeah. The Speeder
Yeah,
Mac? Yeah.
I think he did it like a mural type painting of him fighting, and you see it hanging in the back of the restaurant. I'm like, that's cool. That's movies. That's movie
That's
making.
movie magic, yeah.
Yeah, that's movie magic. So I have that memory, and there's scenes that he did with his son where I've walked in those streets. I played with my friends on those streets. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So I have that like personal connection
Very
to it. So
nice.
for me it's definitely Rocky 2 as well. All right. This one's a little odd. We'll see. Well, only because of the addition to it. Standard size pillow, okay,
Yeah.
or big pillow. And get this in parentheses for sleep.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that. unless unless she means like a body pillow.
Well, that's a different type
Yeah,
of
exactly.
pillow.
So that's what I was saying. Okay, so let's clarify between you and
She
me
clarified, yeah. I mean, she specified for sleep.
for sleep. I like a big fluffy pillow, but not too firm. I don't like
Okay.
small pillows. I don't like having to fight to get the pillow under me or and I guess I sometimes sleep with my arm out, and I like having like sleeping on one end of the pillow and then having my arm under the pillow all the way just like my finger sticking out. So a bigger pillow is better for me.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're a bigger guy like me, so that makes sense. Do you have memory foam pillows?
I do.
All right. Good choice.
Well,
They
when I
do
moved
stay.
into this place, I got a new bed,
Mm-hmm.
and so I got all new linens. And I was
Right.
while I
Oh,
was
that's
doing it,
awesome, man.
while I
Yeah.
was doing it, I'm just like I'm getting the memory foam pillows. That's awesome.
Yeah, when you get new stuff like that, stuff that you're going to use every day,
Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah, it pays to get something you're going to really be comfortable with.
yeah.
So you didn't address the for sleep option as opposed to,
Oh, for other things?
yeah.
I
I
didn't think
mean,
of it that way. I was thinking, what else would you? Okay, no, yeah, pillow
that's what
for
I'm
sleep.
saying.
That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna stay out of trouble. Big pillow
Uh,
for sleep.
who's going to get you in trouble?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I mean, the obvious choice is a bigger pillow.
Oh yeah.
Um, I always sleep with one under one arm or behind me, or yeah, I just like to be encased. I never got one of those big body pillows. Have you ever had one of those?
I've never had one. I've a friend had one, and I laid on it, and I was just like, oh, that's kind of comfortable. You can get in a position that you can't get in without having that pillow.
No, it's like holding a person almost. It's
Yeah.
almost like spooning. Yeah, it's almost like spooning a person.
And yeah, so but not having that was my only thing about spooning when I had a girlfriend was I get hot. And at a certain point I have to get away. You have to leave this my immediate area because good Lord, I'm sweating and this is not comfortable. But a
Yeah.
body pillow seems like you could cuddle with that all night.
Well, I guess yeah. If it's memory foam too,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, but yeah, keep you
Oh, I
cooler.
didn't think of that. Wow.
So yes, for sleep, a big pillow.
For sleep, a big pillow.
Uh, for any other kind of activity, I find that it's more about the person than the pillow. So, biting wise or any
Uh
any type of, like, I guess a firm pillow matters. Um, but like you said, she didn't really want to delve into other
other things.
other uses. So I'll end it there myself. Uh, okay. Cookie Monster or
Yes.
Elmo?
Cookie Monster.
Yeah. Cookie Monster. Okay.
Cookie Monster. I'm too old for Elmo. Elmo was not a thing anywhere in my childhood or even early adulthood. And then all of a sudden, Elmo was everywhere. I'm like, what the hell's an Elmo? So nothing against. I when I have seen him on things on specials, or I don't generally watch the Muppet Show anymore, or uh, what's the show called? Sesame Street.
Sesame Street.
But when I've seen that character, I like it. The character's cute. But
Mhm.
no, not it's not even close. Cookie Monster.
Okay. Okay. Extra points if you do an impression of either one. I'm not saying it has to be good.
I'm trying to think of something to say. Cookie Monster. Me want cookies. Nom nom
Okay.
nom.
So that's kind of like a cookie Yoda.
Kinda, yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not. I literally haven't heard the Cookie Monster in a long time, and I didn't know. I couldn't think of any dialogue that would help if I had like the
I
line.
think he is more grunting and chewing, if
Yes.
anything. I don't think, yeah. He kind of spoke like a caveman,
Yeah.
pretty much.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I really enjoyed growing up? I mean, even because I have a kid, and yeah, and I've seen plenty of Sesame Street through him too, is the cameos, man.
Oh yeah.
The cameo, like there's a Robert De Niro cameo, there's a James Gandolfini cameo,
Oh yeah.
you know.
So many
Uh,
people.
yeah, I think there's an Alice Cooper one, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. You know what'd be interesting? Marilyn Manson one. Who would he be? Who would he have one with?
What? Why would
Marilyn
that?
Manson. Yeah, there's Marilyn. No, I don't think there is one, but I'm just saying. Yeah, that's yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, there were a lot of those, a lot of cameos on the old show and the new show, I guess. So
Well, in the Muppet Show, they had. I mean, they had
yeah,
a guest. Like they'd have Steve Martin on, and well, that's going back, man. Yeah. Did you watch any? Well, you didn't see any of the newer episodes, right?
no,
Yeah, me either. I didn't see any. Um,
okay. So the questions to you.
Thank you.
The questions to you. I'm not letting you get away without giving an answer.
Okay. No, I would have to say Cookie Monster as well.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I love blue, the color blue. I love cookies.
You wanted to be the Cookie Monster when you grew up.
They had him sing. They had him rap. I think he's
missed
one
the
of the,
rapping.
he's one of the most. Yeah, he's one of the most versatile Muppets. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Um, all right. So for extra points, I'm going to do an Elmo.
Okay.
Since you did Cookie, I'll do an Elmo. La 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 la. Elmo's World.
Very nice. Very nice.
Well, I got to see if I still got my balls. Yep.
That was a nice job, though. That's a tough voice.
Dude, that is still bouncing around in my head because of my kid, which I'm sure many parents are still experiencing.
Oh yeah. I feel bad for the Barney parents. I have a couple friends who just
we don't. There's no B word.
There's no B word. I apologize.
Don't ever say the B
word. You were one
again.
of those parents too. Okay.
Yeah.
No B word.
All right, I'm good. I'm better.
You're good. You okay now? All right.
Yeah, I'm good now. Yeah.
Take a moment.
I was never a wrestling fan, but I understand the question. So, Randy Savage.
Yes.
Or Ultimate Warrior.
Again, going with what I remember. It's the Macho Man Randy Savage. Step into a Slim Jim. Yeah, it's got to be.
I didn't even have to prompt you for an impression.
How do you not go Randy Macho Man Savage with Elizabeth? Yeah, that was
God. That was great.
That was my time frame for watching when he was. Well, I mean, he lasted a long time. He may have come in right near the end of when I was of an age of being young and watching wrestling. Me and my brother watching wrestling on Saturday mornings or whenever it was that it came on. But yeah, he was just one of those characters. And who was the other one? The
Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, see, I don't really know who Ultimate Warrior is. I think I think I can see the makeup, how he came out.
I mean, I just did some research, like I said.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the name, but Macho Man is the guy I remember. Yeah, he's still in a lot of people's.
Yeah, I mean, Macho Man was. I don't think he was the late 70s, but I think he was the early 80s or at least mid 80s. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Ultimate Warrior came on scene, or I don't remember hearing the name until the 90s at least. So if he was around before that, I don't remember hearing or seeing him.
They're similar.
Are they
in their kind of presentations? Yeah, they have the face makeup and that voice and just boasting, and which is just a wrestling staple.
Oh yeah.
I'm not, like I said, I was never really that much of a wrestling fan. I would say if at any time, it may have been in the 70s when I was a kid, like a little kid, and I know I watched it. I know I watched some of it.
Yeah.
I would say just for the Slim Jim factor, I'd have to go with the Macho Man. Absolutely.
All righty.
Do you remember The Wrestler? Do you remember the movie The Wrestler?
I've never seen The Wrestler.
Oh, with Mickey Rourke. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard great things about it. I was
Yeah.
just I also was told, I don't even remember it. Just it's almost too real. Like just the sadness of that character.
Oh, it's gritty. Yeah. It's
It's so real and gritty,
Mhm.
and I was like, and sometimes I just don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch what is going on in life. And I'm just like, I can't. I'm gonna. I mean, it'll be a great movie, I'm sure, but it's going to affect my not my personality, my mood. It's
Mhm.
literally going to make me
Definitely.
sad.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I've never
That's
seen
a good
Schindler's
point.
List for that reason
I've never seen it. Yeah.
because I'm like, I don't. I what was the movie I saw that? Oh God! Oh
Any
yeah,
Holocaust, any Holocaust movie has to have a supernatural aspect to it where the Germans get destroyed. That's
right. I
that's
get that.
that's the one thing I stress. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one thing I demand. Whether it's a video game or
There
or
need.
Captain America. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Something supernatural has to destroy them. Yeah.
Yes.
I. It's well. I
Indiana
guess.
Jones.
Yeah. Exactly.